All
Oscar
right.
shorts.
We took the liberty and watched all of the Oscar nominated animated shorts for 2021. It's a bonus episode.
This is a free country and we do what we want with our podcast.
No one tells us what to do.
I feel like we always watch the Oscar shorts and I always walk away feeling really depressed. I want to get everyone's take on this because we were kind of starting to talk about it earlier, but like I actually thought these were relatively uplifting.
Well, I had the opposite expectations because I felt you leave with that because we usually make the mistake of watching the animated ones first and then we watch the live actions and we're like, oh my God, why did we do it that way? Because the live actions are usually like really real. And a lot of the animations, you get a good amount of like Pixar, fun kid ones. And this one had like, they always have the one Pixar that unfortunately usually wins. And then like the other ones, the shooting one, I was like, holy shit.
So let's get into it there. Let's go into that. Do you want to start about with that one then? What was that? That was called, I have this. If anything happens, I love you.
Anything happens, I love you.
Oh, that one I was kind of slow on. I didn't.
Just fine.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like these shorts are too artsy for their own good.
100% agree. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't hate it. I liked it given the subject matter. Liked it as much as I could. I don't know how to put that in a positive way, but I actually weirdly knew what was going to happen. I don't know. I figured that like clicked in my head. Like when I was right when she walked through that first cloud, I was like, oh, I have a weird feeling something going to happen in the school. I don't know why. I just felt that. And I actually thought she was going to be the shooter. I thought that was the whole thing, because when they were grieving and she was kind of like, there, but not there. I thought like they were just like really sad for her. And like, she's not there anymore. Like she's not dead, but she's obviously not going to be a part of their family in a normal way. I don't know.
I was thinking the whole time, I kind of had that thought, but separated, if that makes sense. Like I was going back and forth from like, oh, please don't let this be she died. But then going back to like, oh, I hope this was like the kid going to college. And you keep going back and forth of like, oh, okay, they're an empty nester now. Oh, no, she definitely died. Oh, this, that. And then she walks into the school. And then I even thought that was still going to be like going to college. Like she's got her backpack. And then you hear like the gunshot and then instantly it just floods over you. Like you realize what it is. And you're like, oh.
And I'm obviously the story's not a good story, but yeah. But I was glad it didn't go
yeah.
I'm glad it didn't go that route though. I'm glad it didn't go like the going off to school route, because I feel like they do that every year, like the whole empty nester thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just old at this point.
That's honestly where I thought it was going. For the longest time, I didn't think. I thought it was more like they were just like tired with each other, kind of. Mm-hmm. And then they were just like the things that were keeping together, like their cat and their kid. But then like as it went on, I was like, oh, something for sure happened. When's the shoe gonna drop here?
Yep.
It definitely did though. I mean, in terms of like storytelling, we brought this up. Like I thought it was an effective piece. If that, like the way I experienced it probably was like dead on to like the emotions and then like that flooding at the end. And
oh, for sure. You guys, should we
I could also I could see this winning, honestly.
Yes and no. It wasn't my favorite. I could see it winning. I think you're right. I don't know.
I wouldn't put this at the top of my list for the one I would hope to win. I thought it was good in a bad way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I know. I feel
I mean, this wasn't my favorite. I just could see this winning.
I do want to. Side note, I want to at the end. I really want to go around and say like, I want to see what your guys' I want to guess what your favorites were. Okay. Without you telling, or your favorite one.
Okay, so don't mention which one.
Don't mention your favorite until the end, because I want to guess.
So this might have been my favorite too. Also, I just want to throw it out there. It could have been. It might have been.
Can we talk about opera?
Yes.
This one is like, so the one
This
thing
was
I
like the
always,
mesmerizing one, right?
yeah,
It was
I
the one
always,
take.
yeah, I when, especially with animated shorts, sometimes I'm like, just like in awe of like the art form, kind of like sometimes I think they're too artsy, but sometimes I'm like, wow, this took somebody forever to make. Like the amount of detail that went into this one was absolutely incredible.
This one was awesome to me. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah. And like, you know, there was enough where like it wasn't, it's not like you are watching anything else, because it's like, it's literally just going top to bottom, bottom to top. And like, there's not a whole lot of movement. There's no scene cuts. You're literally just like looking at all the detail that's going on in there. And that's what tells the story. And so I just think it's a super cool way of, I think it's just a super cool short.
I wrote this down as like an anthill. It reminded me of an anthill, like so many different parts working, kind of doing everything means something, like clearly, because there's at the end, you know, they showed like there's a winner, or like I don't know what exactly happened. I couldn't go in depth with it, but it's like everything meant something. Like I thought did you guys see like the sex ones? Yeah. That was so funny to me. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but I was like, this is just hysterical, like so random.
They thought of everything, and like I don't know if you noticed, but it was like next to like a fighting, like a bar fight, and like it was all like the underworld stuff, and then
it was almost like a comedy, like in a weird way. I kind of thought this was funny, but also like it was like a cycle of life almost type of thing.
Well, I thought it was like kind of like just talking on like cast, because like you could like you could see up towards the top there was like a big like dining area, like an entrance area, and then like one level below that there was like, you know, people in a line going around, and they were like getting food, or it looked like up top there was like two people who I'd imagine are like king and queen kind of thing.
The tone switched pretty crazy. Like if it was like kind of happy go lucky at first, and I was like, oh, what's this gonna be about? And they were just like
yeah,
loved it. It was great.
I think it did remind me of the Lemmings video game.
Oh yeah,
that's very similar. I mean, I think too, yeah, it was right. Each one was looking at a different like time in history, or like period of history, but like in a different place. But it's super interesting, especially from the sense of like storytelling is usually right. You're usually like, obviously we experience our life through like we're the main character, and like movies we usually follow a main character, and this was like zoomed out looking at like the whole society as a whole, and there was no main character. It was just like,
right,
this is what's happening, you know. And it's like kind of cool way to do that, because it's like, how do you even normally do that other than ones that try to just like, not to jump to it, but yes, people like had a bunch of different people in it, but it still wasn't like, this was like zoomed out. Look at it like it's something different.
Everyone was
super
just
cyclical,
like existing and doing their thing, like almost like a hive mind. Like Anthill's actually a pretty good
or a beehive. I mean, it's all the same type of thing. I mean, we're essentially,
and it just keeps happening.
Yeah. The earth is our anthill.
And it's like, even though this is animated, pretty good one take. One shot.
It's crazy they didn't mess up, you know. It's crazy.
Okay, let's do Genius Loki.
I felt like the style of animation on this one was very similar to the If Anything Happens, I Love You. Like not the same, like there's more color in this one, but I felt it was a very similar style. And I feel like it's good at telling the story, but sometimes I feel like I can get lost in that a little bit. Like I'm just like looking at all the think which I feel like the movement's super pronounced in these types of animations. But I liked this one. I think I liked it better than If Anything Happens, I Love You. But I wouldn't say this is my favorite type of animation. So this is probably one of those like low ceiling for me ones.
It's funny. I call it the Rugrats animation, because like, you know how it's like, it's the same thing with the Anything I Love You. It's like I don't know how to describe it. Do you know what I mean? The Rugrats animation. It's kind of like when someone's like, you know, when you see a character or whatever, it's their skin's like moving. It's almost like I'm
gonna get it wrong, but it's like,
I don't know.
Maybe Picasso's not the right one. but it's like almost cubist or like expressionist. I'm
it's
not
like
sure.
it's a painting, basically. Yeah, it's like
It's like a moving painting, which I like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
but like a super specific style though.
Yeah, I'll have to put it in. I'll have to show you guys because it's remind every type of like animation like that where like it's almost like drawings, but like they're moving and like they're not moving, but like their body's moving. Like
Yeah,
hard to describe, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite either. I don't know. I didn't really care for this one, to be honest.
guys, don't reveal your favorite. It's I mean, you
oh sorry,
I hated this one.
You didn't like this one?
No, this was just, I mean, talking about ones getting like super artsy to me.
Yeah.
This was just very like, this was French and it was very French. You know, like it was just moody French.
Just not my thing.
Barely, I mean, not barely a story, but just kind of like a meandering, like kind of thing just took you through. And again, a lot of this probably has to do with like my mood going to a lot of these. But this one to me, I was just like,
On that note, let's go to the next one.
All right.
Jesse, you want to pick the next one?
We'll fly through these.
You want to pick the next one?
Oh, yeah. Let's go with Yes People.
Okay.
The Icelandic one.
I kind of liked the animation in one. I thought the characters were kind of funny. I thought, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this one, to be honest with you.
Did your guys?
I feel like I kind of had a hard time following.
Was yours? Did yours look? The quality was kind of grainy, or was that just me? Was that my quality, my computer, or was there like a grain layer applied over top? Like, did it look kind of lower res to you guys, or no?
I don't remember it looking.
Okay, I was kind of curious if that was like a style thing because it looked like they put like a grain over it to make it look a little older, like a 70s or 80s vibe. But I don't know if that was just my computer or my connection. But that kind of threw me off. It reminded me of like a early 2000s, late 90s Sims game or something like that. The animation,
yeah,
which I got kind of, and the vocals and all that. Although I will say they captured living in an apartment building really well. Like the whole sex scene, which was like really spot on in an apartment building.
I did like, and the what to the point of capturing living in an apartment. I thought the kid playing the like recorder or clarinet or whatever was really funny because it was just everyone's experienced that where you're like, oh my god.
And the worst part is you can't do anything about it because you're in an apartment building. Like.
Right.
I really liked this one, but I think, and it's funny too, like I do think every year, like I also kind of was disappointed as a whole this year, I will say. But maybe I think the whole Oscars just this year is disappointing.
Yeah, but
tough. It is funny that I feel like there is like the same types of shorts every single year. Like there's like a serious one, there's like a super like French, like meandering one, there's like the Pixar kids one. And I feel like there's always one like this that's just kind of like light, and it's just kind of like a everyday, like a like just the essence of everyday life, and like how they only say yes in it or yow or yow. And it's just like so simplified, just kind of about everyday life, like just like there's no heavy, it's just like it is what it is. It's kind of funny.
I feel like that's why I had a hard time following it, is just because everyone was just like, yeah.
There's no story. Yeah, there's like nothing.
Yeah, it was just existing, which is like, there's I'm sure a ton of story in and of that, but like just seeing it felt more like a snapshot of people's lives than a story to me.
That's why I remember The Sims, just because like that's what they do. They just live. Yeah. They just exist for you to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think I loved it though. It's just like I love just this everyday life stuff instead of like sometimes I'm like, I don't even want a story.
That's true.
That's like point. It's kind of like a lot of, I feel like even movies this year I've been like, I described it as like it's just kind of like you pop into someone's life and then at the end you just pop out. There's no like.
That's a good point though. Yeah.
There's something about that I'm like, I mean, maybe it's just because this past year's been so different where I'm like, yeah, everyday life. Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Burrow.
I did not like this one at all.
Whoa.
It didn't do any. It was just like, I don't know. But it's
gonna win because it's Pixar, man.
Of course.
So
Oh, this is Pixar?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's-
Pixar, come on. No, what
It's
did you
not
guys
the
think?
classic like Pixar animation. It's a different style.
Yeah, I wouldn't have like, I mean, I would have picked it after seeing the other ones and not realizing there's a Pixar one, but it isn't what I would normally think. Like the bird one is kind of more what I think, or
Yep,
feast, or like
100%.
bow.
I am glad that they didn't go that route though, because yeah, like you're saying, every year there's like the Pixar one where it looks the same. All the characters are always there's always like a talking or like a talking animal or something that's like, I don't know,
Or a talking dumpling.
talking dumpling. Exactly. And they're fine, but it just gets old if they keep doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know.
I actually really liked this one. This is the one that like I feel like I followed the story well. I thought like visually it was done well. Like the story made sense. Like to me, it was like, oh, like, you know, you're off living by yourself. Then you like run into your neighbors. Then you're like, oh my God, my neighbors. And then you like run away from them. And then you cause a problem and your neighbors end up coming to help save you. Like, I feel like that's a very simple, but like, I get that story and I like that. So I actually like this one.
Cool.
I was a big fan too. I like this. If anything that plays on that feeling of like looking for home, for some reason, like those always get me. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, right here. Ooh. So I was a big fan. I do like the like awkward like running with neighbors. I was a big fan.
Cool.
Do you want to go around and do our like?
Well, let's do the other ones. Still talk about the other ones too.
Oh, you want to talk about the not the?
I want to talk about the Hawaiian one.
Honorable mentions, I think.
Yeah, the
Or
Kapaemahu. I don't know how you say
Kappa.
it. I really liked this one though. It was like a moving painting, which was just kind of cool. It reminded me of that. But I don't know. I just really like the idea of this one. I think kind of like, you know, when you're at a museum and you see something, you're like, you know, this obviously means something to somebody. And it's actually kind of cool to see that history of an object like that. And I don't know, I thought it was super interesting when they said, you know, when they were like, oh, a bowling alley was built on top of it or whatever. It's like that stuff happens like every day with like historic preservation. And it's actually really cool to see like people like care about that. And I don't know. I thought it was super interesting. Super well done. I don't know. And is this like a true? I wonder if this is a true story. Like I don't know. I feel like that would be a real thing.
I feel like a lot of times these are. I don't know.
Or at least based off something.
Yeah. Someone just shows up and they're like, I'm just gonna make all this up.
Yeah, right.
Do we want to get into if we swap any of these out while we talk about them, or
yeah, if you don't have to. Like I just wanted to talk about that one because that would have again, like this would I would prefer this other than I would say most of the other ones that are in there in the top.
So you think this deserved to be in the 5?
Yes, I do.
I guess that's what I'm at. Yeah.
I do.
I think I'd make room for it in the 5.
I think I'd like it better than the if anything, if the school shooting.
The winner.
Yeah. The winner, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. The other two, I wasn't really super, I don't know. They were all right.
I thought I liked the one with the snail, but I thought it was really long.
Yeah, what is with that? Everything else was like 8 minutes. This was like 20 something.
Yeah.
Well, the French one was pretty long.
Was it? No.
I think it was like 16.
Yeah, I guess.
I think so. The snail one was long, and it seemed like a really great kids one.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like narrated like a kid's book. It felt like, you know, like it was just very kidsy.
Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I was like, this felt again like a classic, like a great kids. He's seeing the world on this whale. The end, they like have to, you know, save him. There's like, it just felt really like
Finding
kids,
Nemo.
But in a good way.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, like it's
for sure.
Fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like every year there's always one of those.
Yeah, I'm actually I'd kind of be surprised that this wasn't in the nominations. But also, I will say I did like the magician one too,
Gerard,
just because I thought it was like
that was fun. It was a cool story.
Right? That one should have gotten in there, if you ask me. I thought that was a nice little story.
What was that? Gerard?
It was to Gerard.
To Gerard. I was gonna say Gerald, but
I thought this would have been better as a live action movie. To Gerard. I don't know why. I thought that'd be kind of fun to see.
It could be fun.
Yeah,
I liked him as an animated character.
Yeah.
Like he just seemed like a funny, like what you would imagine is a good animated character.
I'm thinking like Now You See Me, Prestige mixed with Benjamin Button.
Who would play?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that
Who
yet.
would play him? Who'd you cast?
I don't know yet. I'll have to come back to you on that. Freddie Highmore. Just kidding.
Freddie Highmore plays the old magician man. Just throw prosthetics on him.
Yep. You guys want to go into favorites?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go around and guess what your favorites were, just because I want to do that.
Okay.
Based on your reviews, I feel like, oh, this is tough. Okay, Joe, I'm gonna say you liked the Burrow the best, and Jesse, I think you liked Yes People the best. Was that kind of close?
I was bluffing this whole time. I love Genus Loci.
Yeah, that's accurate for me. I think Burrow would be my top pick of the ones that were nominated.
Okay.
Burrow and Yes People were definitely my top two, but I do think I'd put Burrow on top.
Okay.
Of Yes People.
That was my other guess for you. So
the second one would be the one shot. What was the name of that one?
Opera.
I think that would be my number two. My number three probably would be that last one that wasn't nominated, the Gerard. I actually really liked that one.
That's your top three.
Let's greenlight this with Freddie Highmore.
Let's do it.
Come on.
So
they turned the inked one into, a Vera Farmiga
That's
film.
true.
Let's turn this one into a Freddie Highmore film.
Let's do it. So those are your top three, Joe. Jesse, what were your? I know you said Burrow and Yes People. Was there a third?
Burrow, Yes People. I'd probably put If Anything Happens, I Love You on it. I usually hate ranking things high that make me feel horrible, but I think that's also why it was good.
Yeah, agreed.
But
my top three, Opera was my favorite. I thought that was just so fun to watch. I'm
gonna guess your favorite was Opera.
Yeah. Well, it's these are hard because I'm not a huge animation fan, so like it's hard for me to get invested in an animation story. But this, I don't know, Opera did it so well. I don't know, I just liked it. I could watch that again, which I never feel for animated shorts. So
it seems like a thing that you would just put on at night.
Right.
Like just to like, you'd be like, guys, this is just mesmerizing.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Maybe you had an edible. I don't know. But like, I feel like there are certain things that you just like putting on in the background when like people are over.
Yep. This would definitely be up there. I'm definitely gonna do that. My second favorite was the Hawaiian one, Kapaemahu. And then my third, probably the If Anything Happens, I Love You. That's probably my third as well.
So. All right. If you should also show Glenn Opera.
Oh,
I feel like he would.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the shorts, the Oscar shorts. So I'll have to send them to him.
I am kind of bummed at this year with the shorts, and why I feel like it might have affected it for me a little bit was like it's such a thing for me every year. Like I've been really bad about it in the past years, but like starting in high school at some point, I'd like go to the little theater and watch them in one sitting, and you're in a theater and you're like, it's like the whole experience and you're really just paying attention. Which we bought the tickets through the little theater, support your local theater.
There you
go. And then, but like, even like in Portland, if we would like rent it and like kind of have a movie night and do it, it still was like an event. Where this one, it was just like kind of like throw it on, go through them,
It is interesting because like I do want to do that. We should do that for next year though, because like have a view party or something. But it is interesting because like animation hasn't changed because of COVID. Like it's always they're not going to stall filming because they're not filming anything. So it's like I feel like they have almost like a higher expectation this year because COVID. But and I don't know, nothing blew me away. I thought Opera was really, really good, and that actually did a really good job. But nothing was like stand out. Like wow, this is the best in years.
I feel like if you look at like Opera in particular, comes to mind, but it's like literally that had to take forever.
Yeah.
So when they talk about the shorts and they're like, it took them 4 years.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. But
cool.
Anything else?
I don't know.
Curious to
predicted
see
winners.
Ooh.
I don't even know. I can't.
I'm still thinking If Anything Happens, I Love You, or it's Burrow because Pixar seems to sweep all the time.
Yeah,
But I think
I
agree
don't
with
know
both
enough.
yours. I'm gonna say those two as well, Jesse, because I agree.
I would be happy if Opera won, but I think Burrow will win.
Yeah, I don't think Opera is the Academy's. I don't know. It doesn't seem their vibe, which
not
is
their cup of tea.
Which they need new Academy members anyway because they don't like horror movies. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Boom, we're launching our fight with the Academy.
But cool.
Sweet.